Hi everyone and Dragon with you. So I would like to share my results about Solaris. And as I told before, she is my choice for the water team. During the tests, I noticed that even if you don't own the totem for her, she is still a valuable ally. And by manual control, you can improve her effectiveness in real battle. So as you can see, she isn't maxed in level. Also, her skin is 30s for now, so I did it just for the quest. Next we have artifacts, and I just used the shop. So when you use the shop to make the third artifact full star, that means you get basic stats for the super titan, and they're effective against everything. The first two artifacts are effective when you fight Dark Titans. That means they will not just help you really when you fight Elemental Titans. So you can get only third and feel pretty okay. And yes, as you can see, I still don't activate Light Spirit Totem, so she isn't buffed with that. But if we compare her stats, so you can check that out, she has a lot of health. And even at 4 stars, so if we compare her with Araji, who is absolute star, maxed artifact, look at that. So she has more health than Araji, but at the same time she has less attack. So if we compare those two, then obvious you would say Araji is more effective because he has more attack. And if you fight Earth teams, then obviously I would prefer playing Araji. So I'll show it today in this video. But if you fight water, then we have a serious problem. So actually, Araji isn't so great against water teams because his bonus damage doesn't work. At the same time, enemy defenses work pretty well. So in general, I decided to test. So what if I swap Araji with Eden, who has even more health but less attack, and if I swap him with Solaris, so what happens with my water team? And this time I'll show you real fights at real power. And I'm not joking, Solaris was pretty impressive. So her first ability now allows me to collect up to 900,000 damage. And then we also get basic buff of 800,000, and then she releases all that into the enemies. Also a nice stunning effect. So that stunning effect can be used to stop your opponent's Eden from casting something, or if he manages to do it, then after he throws a stone, Solaris will throw his damage back. And the second ability allows your team to survive, so she adds more health to the entire team, which means she is effective all the time. So unlike Tenebris, when you lose somebody and only then that works, her ability works all the time. And that's why I decided that, okay, it's time to fight for Solaris at real power. Also, I faced a huge opponent which tried a dark water team, and that was pretty exciting. Okay, so let's go to the log, and I'll show you my experience of testing. First of all, I fought Pierre, so you see that I have much less power, and at the same time, Pierre has both totems maxed, which means his Dark Spirit totem will just tear me apart, and my basic idea was pretty simple. So obviously I thought, okay, probably I'll lose, but what if I play Eden? Eden deals effective damage to all water units. Also, his damage isn't reduced by special elemental barrier of Tenebris and Keros, so all this team is vulnerable to Eden. Why not play Eden, right? And my core of water teams. So still he can use two totems, which probably helps a lot. But at the same time, remember that if you play only two Dark Titans, then your totem is pretty slow. And this time I would like to check the fight and how it went. So first of all, we need to survive. Also, nice dig from Eden, which means enemy will not receive his Dark Totem for some time. And that's really great for me. And then I save the charge till the opponent loses immunity, and then I can activate. So check this out. When he loses immunity, I activate at improved percentage, break enemy Sigurd, and then my totem starts breaking everything. But at the same time, look, so Tenebris already removed my Nova, and the damage is still there. So now I will suffer from two totems at the same time. But before that happens, I managed to remove some of the units. So after I remove them, others get buffed, no doubt. But the problem with Tenebris is that when you get buffed, you already lost some of your teammates. Which means, as you can see, I have one totem, 100,000 less power, and I just almost killed that huge double totem team. Okay, so here was a tough enemy, no doubt, but still Eden is pretty random, right? So I can't rely on Eden every fight and can't guarantee that he digs the right target, etc. So I still think that makes sense, and thanks for Pierre for demonstrating at real fight a huge team. The next was yesterday, so this fight, as you can see, I have less power, and we both own an absolute totem. So kind of Eden counters my water. At the same time, water counters fire. But my idea was to use Solaris here to improve my health, which means I get better survival, and I can survive that huge damage from the totem. So let me show you this fight. It was pretty fair. I just used the elemental buff. So I get bonus damage against fire. At the same time, Eden was a problem. So what happened here? I would like to highlight how I use Solaris here. So now she activates. I can collect damage from enemy Araji, and I can stun Eden. So check this out. The most dangerous unit of this team was stunned just right before the stone, and my team didn't get hurt. So that means Solaris just stopped the huge threat, and I managed to remove saving 3 titans. So great thanks to Solaris. And at this fight at Bridge, I fought against a team which was Earth, and as I told you before, if you face Earth, then obviously Araji is effective. Also, I trained him to get extra damage with his skin, and that means I play for Water plus Araji against Earth, and that works. So let me show you the fight as well, just to compare the ideas. And the main idea is just don't let Araji kill himself. That's it. So you need to use your totem to drill through the enemy totem. Here we go. After it happens, I can activate Araji, and Araji needs to burn all the enemy team before the next totem activation. So he already removed the tank. Now I can use Nova's stun to win some time. And now the totem again. So drilling through it. Some healing from my Hyperion. And keep drilling the opponent. So Araji here is the main damage dealer, no doubt. That's why I just think this team is great. And well, today we had another 2 fights. And this time I decided to check the idea again, but this time I fought against Nick, who owns a 5-star totem, so that's not an absolute totem, and Earth, so I decided to risk and play Solaris. Obviously, if I played Araji, I would win, so what if I played Solaris? Yeah, you see that I won, but let's see how it went. So first of all, I need to understand who is my damage dealer. On the one hand, I don't have effective damage against this team, but Solaris has effective damage against everything, so she can survive. This time I failed. So you see, I tried, but I failed to stop Eden from throwing the stone. And anyway, I collected some damage and managed to strike back. So this stun slightly helped me. Drilling with my totems through the opponent, and here we have the situation when Solaris collects a huge amount of damage and then releases it back into the heads of my opponent. So as you can see, she charges pretty fast for finishing the enemy titans. Then she is almost charged again, and as a result, we have a huge removal of enemy team, even with much less power, but a better tool. But still, when I played against Elucides, I used my Araji, and this time Araji and Hyperion were both effective, and that was pretty safe. So this time I didn't want to risk, because my Solaris is still not maxed, and I just had some fun with Araji. So typical fight, drilling the enemy totems and drilling the enemy with Araji, stuns, drilling the totem again, then Araji burns everything. Just like that. So a typical gameplay against Earth, and yes, I can play Water versus Earth, and it still works if you play Araji. But I was kind of a little surprised that we have Solaris who also can fight and even win with some manual control. Okay, so I hope this information helps you to understand that Solaris is pretty solid option for your water team. At the same time, if you are a happy owner of a light totem, then you can play two titans. So you can go to a composition of 3 water plus ERE plus Solaris. And that's another pretty solid team, which means you can get 2 totems and a huge amount of healing for your defensive team. That's what I recommend. If you don't own that, well, you can play 4 plus Solaris as I did, and you see that it works. Okay, so in general, I'd like to just say it again. So I went to the shop, I saw the gleaming seal chest, and I bought the third artifact till I got it maxed. So that's what I did to my Solaris. And now I'm trying to get some Solaris dolls to get slightly more souls before I can get them other way. That's my shop preferences. Also, if you need more coins, you can trade them for emeralds. And that's how you get additional resources for the unique Super Titans, Solaris and Tenebris. As for Tenebris, I recommend him for fire players. So if you play water or earth, you play Solaris. If you play fire, then you play Tenebris. And that team is really powerful, as other players told. I agree. Okay, so thank you for watching. See you in my next videos, and good luck to you.